This is The Wheel Weaves, a Wheel of Time podcast with no spoilers. Hey everyone, I'm your host Dani, and I'm the first-time reader going through this series chapter by chapter. As always, there's no spoilers past the chapter we're covering, and that means it's totally safe for first-time readers. I'm joined by my co-host Brett, who's a longtime fan, and he's guiding me on this journey. We'd like to thank and acknowledge our executive producers, Brandy and Erik, Kirkwood, Sean McGuire, LightBlindedFool, Green Man, Deyvis, Ferreira, Margaret, Big C, Bennett, Williamson, Hannah Green, Noralia, Geof, Searles, Erik Reed, Greysin, Ishara, Ashlee, Bradley, Laura Lewis, Helena, Jacobsen, and Matthew Mendoza. And before we get into things today, we just want to thank and welcome Jeremy Tomasulo and Judy Alaruzzo to the Wheel Weaves Patreon team. We also want to thank Saverio Bartolini for increasing their pledge at patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast to become our newest producer level patron. Thank you so much for your support. To all of you, we really, really, truly appreciate it. In this episode, we're talking about chapter 33 of Towers of Midnight.
Yeah, chapter 33 is a good soup.
A good soup?
We're talking about soup today.
Not really.
Well, I mean, I assume that's why you made soup for dinner. That was pretty funny.
Oh, I did make soup.
I laughed internally.
Did you actually?
Well, yeah.
Didn't even think about it.
Okay.
Because my soup was not that good. It was from a can.
What? I mean, but you know.
Normally I make pretty good soup, though.
Yeah.
I bet you don't even know how to make good soup.
I don't need to know how to make good soup.
No, remember that? Remember
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Remember that thing
kid snippets.
from a long time ago?
It's good.
Don't even
it's
know
good.
how to make good soup.
Okay.
And hold on, I have to apologize in advance.
Sure.
For having ice in my drink.
Ah, you did it this time.
It might clink a little.
Okay, that's kind of like soup.
It's
got
amateur hour.
Stuff in a liquid. That's soup.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
All right. Well, it's going to be funny because we are going to talk very briefly about soup. And this chapter, we get a couple of perspectives, but we get an overwhelming amount.
Sorry, I just spilled. Okay, go ahead. Keep going. Didn't happen. Go.
We get a lot of Gawain this chapter.
I know.
A whole lot. So I know it's not your most favorite thing to talk about.
You know what's funny?
We're going to struggle through it.
A little.
I have maybe the best fun fact you've ever heard before.
Okay.
It's short and sweet too, so that's extra special.
That's extra good.
Yeah.
For me, but I listened to this chapter a little while ago.
Okay.
And my plan was to read it again.
Right.
Before we recorded this, and I couldn't
He said
bring myself to do it.
Once was enough.
Yeah.
You know what? I get it. I
like the Gawain and Elaine dynamic. That part's funny, but I just feel like I'm banging my head against a wall at this point.
No, I get it. Yeah.
I couldn't do it again. So there's probably some nuanced, tiny things that I'm missing because I didn't reread it.
I mean, maybe, but also being in Gawain's head, there's not a ton of nuance there.
None.
Unfortunately. Okay, we're going to get into it. So, fun fact, this is actually taken from an interview with Maria Simmons from 2010. So giving some perspective here.
And Maria is?
Yeah, so she's the editorial assistant for Team Jordan. And
I mean, I know. I'm just saying that to prompt you to
continuity
tell the
editor
who don't know.
Research assistant. We've had her on the podcast.
Yeah, good personal friend of mine.
You have a picture on a dance floor with her.
Several now.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. Anyways.
She would love being called my close personal friend. She shushed me.
True.
During a panel that she was on.
Only close personal friends do that.
Because I'm really bad at not being on panels and being in the audience on panels. Because did you know I like talking?
I know that.
Yeah. So Maria personally shushed me.
You know how we also know you like talking? It's because I'm trying to do my fun fact here. I've done very much of it.
Go on.
Okay. So with Maria's interview from 2010. So this was, from what I can tell, before the book was released. Because this interview is from May 2010. The book was released, Towers of Midnight, was released November 2010.
Ooh.
Just for context.
Okay.
Very simple question. Are there any characters you really dislike?
Does she dislike Gawain?
The very first name she says
Gawain
is Gawain.
Yes, see, that's how I knew we were friends.
And I love it because the list of other characters that she puts on the list of people she dislikes, it's pretty good. I'm going to give you the other ones here.
Okay.
Jolene.
Yeah, please don't steal my man. Yep.
Yeah, the Green Aja. Savannah.
Okay, yeah, who likes that
fair.
lady?
Tharava.
Of course, same
also
thing.
Fair. Elida, and then Maria says, oops, I meant Safa. because remember she got taken by the Shanshan and given a new name.
I forgot that she had a new name, and I forgot that we got that Elida perspective where she was taken.
Yep.
But now since you said that, I remembered it.
Exactly. Okay, so that, yeah. Leandrin.
Yeah, okay. Who likes Leandrin? No one.
Padden Fane.
Of course.
Asunawa and the Forsaken.
Asunawa? Who's that?
The White Cloak guy who tortures Margaret.
Yes.
Right, okay.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So then she says, again, I'll stop here. The list could be large, but not as large as the like list. But I love the fact that the very first name that tops everybody else is Gawain.
Well, because the rest of the list are clear villains.
For the most part, right?
For the most part, they're people who are adversaries to our main characters.
Yeah, like even Jolene, not even, she's not necessarily
and
like
same with like Elida, not evil, like
but like
Aja,
adversary, does questionably bad thing. And then it's like, but more than anyone, freaking Gawain. Okay.
Thanks, Maria.
Yeah, I thought it was very insightful.
I think so, too.
Yeah, insightful and wise.
Okay, so chapter 33 is called A Good Soup. Mm-hmm. And I think people are sick of me ranking on chapter titles.
Right.
So we're just going to breeze past the fact that I don't really... Like, I like it because it's so dumb.
Sure.
It's like the dumbest chapter title I've literally ever heard. And it's almost good because it's so
people
stupid.
Are sick of me ranking on chapter titles. So this is the dumbest chapter title.
It's really dumb. This is a dumb chapter title. But it's so dumb that it's good.
Okay.
Like
that makes it better.
Yeah.
All right.
I agree. Chapter symbols are lion because we're in...
Where are we?
Mostly Camelin.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't start there, but anyway. Okay, so now that I've called the chapter title dumb, I'm going to start this chapter by calling myself dumb.
Okay.
My brain did a really dumb thing.
Oh, okay.
Where I didn't know what was going on. Because when we start, Swan is eating soup.
Yeah.
With Nynaeve and Elaine.
See, it's the soup that's good.
I know, but the way that
soup.
It's written, it says Swan's soup was surprisingly good. And then Nynaeve says something. And so I thought we're in Nynaeve's perspective and Swan has made soup.
Yep.
That Swan is surprisingly a good cook.
I agree with you.
Okay.
And it is a little bit confusing when you're first in it. You're like, wait, what?
Who? What?
Yeah. No, I totally get it. Anyways, the soup is good.
Yeah, it was just like a weird way to introduce the soup.
Yeah. Okay, why is the soup good?
Because it's not terrible.
There's no weevils in it.
There's
no bugs in it.
No. There's no weevils in the biscuit.
There's
no weevil in the buns.
Or soup.
No. But it's not spoiled.
Yeah.
It's just broth and vegetables.
Because Rand.
Yeah.
Because things are going well.
Chicken. It's just basically chicken soup.
Yeah.
But it doesn't taste rancid.
Right.
So it's good.
Yeah.
And the biscuits don't have weevils.
There we go. Okay. Good stuff.
Because Rand.
Now we can move past the good soup.
Okay, because we're not here to get distracted by soup, even though it is the chapter title,
right.
So one would think that we need to discuss the soup at length.
Blast past it immediately, yeah. You might even think like, other people in the chapter might be eating soup, and like it might be a repeated theme of like everybody in different locations, all the soup is good. No, we're just going to talk about it right here.
That's it.
Okay.
Yep. Now, Nynaeve has a report of her time with Rand because, in case you forgot like me...
Right.
Nynaeve just had her Aes Sedai testing.
Yeah.
Her whole testing thing, that's where we last left her.
Yeah.
She was with Rand, then Egwene was like, I'm your boss and you have to treat me like that.
Right.
You gotta be nice.
And she did have her night of solitude or whatever it's called.
I suppose.
Because she went to go get the bond from Lan, right? Passed from Morel.
Yeah.
And she was like, hey, tomorrow I'll be Aes Sedai.
Oh my gosh, I totally forgot that.
Yeah, tomorrow I'll be Aes Sedai, but tonight I'm going to beat the crap out of you if you don't give me Lan's bond.
Okay.
And then Morel was like, fine.
Yeah.
So now she has Lan's bond.
Right.
And this morning she's Aes Sedai.
We didn't get Lan's perspective on whether or not he felt that change.
Right.
And I would have liked that. I remember this conversation now.
There's time for everything. Time is...
slowly.
Time is like soup. It's all in a bowl.
These are the days of our lives.
Okay. No, we got to focus here.
It's the hourglass.
I get it. No, we got to focus. Okay.
Okay. So Nynaeve previously was with Rand a lot.
Yeah.
And now has been called back to the tower and is hanging out with Swan and Egwene.
Exactly. Yeah. And Egwene and Swan really don't like the fact that Nynaeve has been spending so much time with Rand that it seems like she's always taking Rand's side now. Like, what is happening here?
That's the worst.
She keeps saying that Rand has some good ideas and opinions on things.
I hate that.
No. Terrible. Hate it. Yeah. Yeah, because they go into the whole cleansing thing, and Egwene is like, I guess we have to believe, and Swan also thinks like, oh, I guess we have to believe.
Like, I literally almost died.
Yeah.
Helping
He's like,
him
I
do
was
that.
there, man.
Yeah.
I guess we should believe them.
Not only was I just there, I
did it.
Literally, it wouldn't have happened without me.
Yeah. Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Egwene still doesn't like the whole Ashman and Aes Sedai bonding thing, but this is where...
And Nynaeve is like,
she's
Rand
like
didn't
sticking
even
up for...
have any control of that.
Yeah, he was like, no part of that, and he didn't like it either.
You know who doesn't care?
Egwene.
Egwene.
Yeah.
Doesn't give a hoot.
I love that Nynaeve is like firing back though.
Yeah.
Because Egwene's like, well, this is still Rand's responsibility. He's got to take ownership over this.
All the Ashaman.
Right.
Yeah, and
what
what they do.
Yeah, and Nynaeve's like, kind of saying, well, you're responsible for the Aes Sedai chaining him and like torturing him, like same thing.
Yeah.
And then Egwene hits her with like well, it's sort of like I inherited that, but I guess
it wasn't
maybe
like, it wasn't like my personal choice.
It's
So
like we did not take ownership, right? When you're like Rand has to take ownership of everything.
Yeah. I do want to note though, this is a nuance I do remember specifically because it hit me in the feels.
Okay.
Where Swan is noting that Nynaeve is wearing her ring, her Aes Sedai ring, and she keeps looking at it.
Yeah.
Because she's been wearing it for a long time now. She's been calling herself Aes Sedai now, but it's actually official in the eyes of other Aes Sedai.
She took the oaths and everything.
And it's meaningful.
Right.
To Nynaeve, because we never really knew if she was going to get to this point.
Right.
And she's clearly proud of herself.
She's been very vocally anti Aes Sedai, and becoming one.
Yes.
But you know,
I can feel her pride.
I like it
in herself.
She's worked hard to get here.
And I'm Nynaeve, so I
got to get the wins.
I really did like that scene.
Okay.
I thought that was really sweet.
Yeah, so then we get a bit of a back and forth here, and then they talk about how the Aiel are saying that Rand has officially embraced death. There's the attitude change, the mentality change. So,
in a good way.
Yeah, it's the Aiel, obviously.
You bring our chorus down a whole octave.
in a good way. He's embraced death in a good way. Very much so, yeah.
Usually when you say, this guy's embraced death, like that's
it's
not
like,
a positive
thing.
But no, in this scenario,
he's doing much better.
Way better.
Yeah. There's a little comment where he's the type of person who wouldn't need to destroy Natron's Barrow anymore, because if he was in that same situation today, it wouldn't have played out at all like that. Not only would he not do that,
Wheel weaves, man.
Yeah, wheel weaves. That's what I keep saying that. Anyways, we gotta shift topics here.
Yeah.
Okay.
The deaths in the tower.
Right.
It's a big deal.
I mean, it's a medium deal.
It should be a bigger deal than they're making it out to be.
Yeah. Sisters are all distrustful still.
They're distrustful of each other because there's murders and such.
It's not as bad. It's not as bad as it was with Elida, but it's still not great.
We're working on it.
It's sort of, yeah.
We're trying to work on it.
Yeah, and up until like yesterday, Gowan, or a couple weeks ago, or a couple days, who knows? Gowan was screwing it up. Yeah.
I think it's probably a week or two.
It's like a week, yeah. Yeah, something like that.
See, that's the kind of nuance that I might have picked up.
Yeah.
If I reread it, I would have known the timeline.
The issue is time is very wonky in these books.
So wonky. Okay.
Yeah.
So now Egwene and Swan are going to fill Nynaeve in on the plan of teaching some others in Tel'aran'rhiod with the Dream Terangrial, and Swan doesn't like this because she thinks it's super dangerous, but Egwene's like, it's necessary to lure the killers into a confrontation.
Gotta lure 'em. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Forsaken are very wary of being lured nowadays,
So weird.
Okay. Yeah, but we do have this plan. So this is kind of like the game plan now, is Egwene is arranging like secret meetings.
Okay. I know this is an audio podcast.
Yeah.
Can people hear me rolling my eyes?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Good. I'm glad.
Okay. Yeah. I think we get it. Okay, we're going to lure the bad guys. We don't even necessarily know who or what or how many.
Good plan.
Right. we're going to get a couple meetings going. So we got the most loyal of her Aes Sedai in Tel'aran'rhiod for one meeting. Egwene is also inviting Windfinders to a different place to meet with them. And we're also going to have a Wise One meeting.
Yeah,
Basically,
pull them all into it.
Pulling
Put them
everybody
all in
in.
danger. Why
Yeah.
not?
And also, we got to spread rumors to make sure everybody knows that this is a night that Missana definitely doesn't want to miss out on, snooping and eavesdropping,
Side note,
spying.
Kate, the audiobook narrator,
Mm.
says Missana.
Missana.
She really draws out that
You
double
gotta-
A,
you
and
gotta drag
I
it.
am here for it. I love it.
Yeah, the longer the better. But don't worry. So with this plan, we're also going to have some wards and some sisters watching from hiding places, and we're going to trap them in Tel'aran'rhiod. It's going to work. It's going to be great.
Honestly, I just hope that it does.
Yeah, I know, right?
Just so that this can be done. Just snort.
I did. I can feel that you're not you're not confident.
I'm not invested in this plan.
Well, you're also like, oh, I hope it works this time. But it's like you're not confident that they're gonna set up a plan that's gonna work. So Swan has a really good idea. She's like, hey, let's get the Wise Ones to help because you know who's also really good in the World of Dreams.
You know who's better than you even?
Okay.
Egwene?
Okay. Are you gonna ask Egwene that? Who are you asking?
Well, they taught her,
Okay.
and she left before her training was over.
Well, now she has a lot of self-training.
I think that it would be really, really annoying for Egwene to argue the fact that the Wise Ones are better in the dream world than her. That would be very arrogant. I would not like that.
Yeah.
So I'm glad it doesn't come to that. And I'm
Yeah.
just going to, in my head, pretend that Egwene knows that they're better than her, but it's like she doesn't want to involve them too much.
Right. She does agree to asking the Wise Ones for help.
For help. Yeah.
So that's good.
Because probably, like, I'm just really hopeful that she has some sense of that.
Again, I'm not getting the confidence from you on that statement.
I'm just so hopeful.
So, okay.
That's the reality I'm choosing to live in
Sure.
when
you know
I
what?
read this fantasy novel.
We're okay with that.
Okay.
You know who we're not going to invite to this party? Rand.
No.
Don't ask, because Nynaeve brings it up. She's like, hey, you know who's really good at, killing Forsaken and battling Forsaken? Is Rand. Rand's good at that.
Should we ask him for some help?
No.
Maybe align ourselves a little bit better with that guy?
Hard pass.
Yeah, right.
This is a
We
problem
don't-
for the tower.
We don't need no man.
Right.
Sisters are doing it for themselves.
Exactly.
Who run the world? Girls.
I like it.
There's others, I bet.
It's Beyonce, right?
That one, yeah.
She transcends reality and fantasy.
That's Queen Bee.
Okay.
Okay, now we're not very happy that Egwene is like, I'm the one who has to do this.
Well, because she's like, I'm the best.
front and center of this plan.
Yeah, Swan's like, don't put the Amerlin in direct danger. But
And
Egwene
she
says,
I gotta.
I'm the best, and I must.
Yeah.
She's really thinking of herself as a tool to be used here. In a good way. Right?
Like, if we don't have to use the shitty IKEA Allen key that comes
Here's
with
the funny thing. Well,
then probably use the better tool. I get what she's saying.
yeah. There's a moment when I think Egwene either says it. I'm pretty sure she says it. She's like, ever since that whole me getting captured by Elida because of
Makes everybody so jumpy or something
and
like
it's
that.
like, maybe I should be more careful. But it's like a very Elaine mentality where she's like, maybe I
Very
should be careful. And then you don't. You don't be careful because this time it'll be different. We're just going to go...
We call this a lack of response inhibition.
Okay.
Impulsivity control.
Sure.
Just straight up arrogance.
Smudginess.
It's the smudginess.
Okay.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah. No, we did it. Okay.
And you know what I just read in the notes?
What?
Perspective change to Perrin.
Right.
And I'm surprised.
Did you forget?
I did.
It's very short. Well, actually, it's not short. It's a couple pages.
I was like, we already read this. We already saw this.
We need more of the montage.
We do?
We do.
I need to know, are the Perrin people loving these montages? Are they loving them? Are they like, yes? Does anybody read this? Because I'm just one reader with one opinion.
Sure. Well, that's debatable too. You have so many opinions.
Yeah,
and
but
they're
I
not
just-
consistent.
I'm still just one person, I'm one person with opinions.
Mm-hmm.
Other people are also readers with opinions.
That's true.
And I'm really genuinely curious to know, do people read these
Yeah.
and go, yes, I'm so excited we get to hear again about Perrin learning in the wolf dream.
Okay, so I'm going to play a little bit of defense here.
That's what I want. I want someone to come back
Yeah.
and be like, actually, this is the best part of the story for me.
There's a subset of people who definitely do like it. I appreciate the fact that we do get slight increases in his skill and performance on each montage. Because I understand if we jumped from like where Perrin was control-wise of the Wolf Dream to where we want him to be, if we only had one montage and you go from like, you know, not good to great, you might be like, oh, that's too fast. He didn't learn. There was no time.
I would never.
I get that, but some people
Especially, you know, we might get like a little bit of a recap. We've been training every night for months. And I've slowly increased and gotten better. Oh my gosh, that was like 3 sentences.
That's not how the Wheel of Time works, man. We don't just shorten the amount of perspectives because it could be shorter.
Okay, do you want to know about this nightmare training montage?
Yes. I think
Why'd you say it like that? I thought you loved it.
I didn't say that. I don't think those words came out of my mouth. I said there's a subset of people who do.
Okay, so he's getting stronger in the Wolf Dream.
Yeah.
And he's getting thrown into all sorts of crazy situations because people got crazy nightmares, man.
Okay.
And you know what?
I think Perrin's got an issue with water.
Really?
There's more water in this scene again, and he's really got a problem with the whole water thing. I really don't think he likes water. Dealing with water.
Interesting.
Being encompassed in water.
But he's in other people's nightmares, not his own.
Yeah, but he just really doesn't like it.
I don't think he likes a lot of things. He also didn't like the weird big scary monster that was Rand.
That's true. Okay.
Like, who likes things in nightmares? Nightmares are inherently scary.
I mean, that's what, yeah, you got a point. Can't argue that.
We're going to feel uncomfortable. Like, oh no, I'm in a volcano of lava. I think Perrin has a volcano lava fear.
I do have a fear of falling into a volcano. I also don't want that to happen.
Yeah, it's a bad dream. That's the point. That is not his dream.
Yeah, okay. You know what? Point taken. Let's move on. I don't know. I don't have a lot to talk about here because he gets pulled beneath the water. The water, he doesn't like it. He doesn't like the water.
Of course not.
Okay.
I also don't like drowning.
Okay.
Like, I'm not scared of water,
Hopper's,
though.
He breaks out. He breaks out of the nightmare, and then Hopper's here, and he's like, you're doing good.
Well, no, he has to keep telling himself, it isn't real, it isn't real.
He does do that, yeah.
So we're getting this reiteration of how Teleranrand works again.
Yeah, and nightmares.
Yeah.
We get, but he's leveling up. He's getting stronger.
I understand.
And then Hopper's like, you're doing better. Because now Hopper, before Hopper was like, you're a stupid
idiot.
puppy.
Get out of here.
Exactly. And now he's like, okay, you're actually doing pretty good. But Perrin's like, nah, it's still taking too long. We got to do this more. Let's keep training.
Perrin has a problem, I think.
Yep. It's well said.
Thanks.
All right, we don't have a lot of time.
I've got to be faster. I've got to be better.
Yes.
I've got to be the best.
We don't have a lot of time until the last battle.
Go talk to Egwene.
Yeah. Well,
she has enough confidence to go around.
That's true.
She could lend you some.
But would she? What would Egwene think about Perrin being like,
so angry.
The world of dreams is my domain?
What are you doing in there?
I love that. Get out. And then would she be like the Hopper who tries to like boot him up? Be like, get out of this is my area. And then like, what even happens?
People get so possessive over these dreams.
So possessive. The Forsaken show it to us all the time.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm the best here. This is my place.
This is my place. And the wise ones.
Everybody is like that.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yep.
I feel like the wolves have the most ability to, because they literally live here.
Yeah.
Like, if anything, the wolf tree, like, that's the
wolves are the least arrogant people in the series. Oh my god, crazy concept.
Probably.
Yeah, definitely. They're not people. Okay.
Oh man, okay.
Okay, anyway, here's the deal.
Yeah.
Slayer is good at stuff.
Yes.
Because he's had lots of practice.
Yeah.
Basically living in the dream world as two different people.
Yeah. And then we have...
Okay, I'm going to rephrase that because people are going to be like, no, Slayer doesn't live as two different people in the wolf dream. Yes, I know. That's my impression of people who comment.
That came off as...
I'm like, okay, I know. So he lives half his life as someone else in the wolf dream or the Tel'aran'rhiod, and then someone else on the outside of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luke
on the outside world. Yeah. Isam on the inside world.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. One last thing. Clarification point. The wolves, Perrin can feel them running north towards the Borderlands and the Blight, both in the real world and in the wolf dream. We're not shifting there because we could we're not shifting. We are running as packs towards the Blight and the Borderlands.
The last hunt.
Hopper wants to be there, but he understands that Perrin's got to do some more montage training.
I feel like Hopper should just go.
We're montage training.
I feel like...
No, you're wrong.
Why do we care so much about Slayer right now anyway?
Because, okay?
No, honestly, tell me why.
What do you mean?
Why do we have to care about Slayer?
He's killing wolves.
And in the grand scheme of things, that's what matters most?
Well, we also, we know, maybe not Perrin, but, we know that Slayer is, a uber dangerous person.
Bad guy.
Who works for the bad guys, essentially.
I just have yet to be convinced that I should seriously care.
Yeah.
I think the only reason that we really don't like Slayer is because we're like, don't you dare kill those puppies.
Right.
You crazy asshole.
Look, we know you don't like dogs that much.
No, I know. But, lots of people do. So, lots of people are like,
right.
Oh, my God. I don't want dogs to die. But,
There's a guy roaming around killing dogs. And you're like, should we really be worried about this guy? Is he really a threat?
Well,
I mean, he's
a threat to dogs.
We also, as the reader...
And, sounds like a weird, crazy person.
But we know that he kills other people, too. He kills lots of people. Kills people all the time.
Yeah, that's worrisome, I guess.
Yeah.
So
you agree we should worry about Slayer?
I just have yet to be convinced
okay.
of the threat.
Sure.
I feel like the Shanshan are a bigger threat. The Forsaken. Everybody else.
Yeah.
Everything else going on in the world.
Sure.
I feel like that's probably part of I'm just coming to this realization now.
Yeah, but you know who this is a good task for?
Perrin.
What is Perrin going to do against the Shanshan?
Team up with them?
He did do that. Shoot. Okay. Bad example.
Mm-hmm.
Bad example.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is Perrin going to do?
I don't know. Go ask Rand what Rand needs him to do. Go do more errands for Rand.
Now you just want them to communicate effectively.
Well,
what book series are we reading?
And the last errand he did a bad job of it.
Well, yeah, you could say that.
A terrible job, actually.
Yeah.
And then he never went and found Rand again.
Right.
And Fail killed Massima.
Right.
Yeah.
His task wasn't to kill Massima.
Does Rand even remember who Massima is?
Probably not. And if he does he care?
Mm-mm.
Probably not.
Not at this point.
Right.
That whole... Perrin must have solved that problem with the Prophet, because I haven't heard about that guy in a while. Good job, Perrin.
Wouldn't that be a kicker? Perrin manages to bring Massima back to Rand, and then Rand's like, who's this guy?
Yeah.
And then Perrin's like, what?
I think maybe that's why I struggle so much with Perrin's plotline, because I don't feel the urgency in his plotline that matters very much to the bigger problems.
Yeah.
His problems are his own problems.
Right.
His wife was missing for 8 books.
Right.
And we have to deal with that.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, sure.
Yeah. You know what's funny is you're talking a lot about, debatably your least favorite character.
Yeah.
But talking more and more about Perrin doesn't mean we can skip talking about Gawain in the next perspective. You can drag out this Perrin perspective as long as you want. We still have to talk about the Gawain stuff. I feel like
I'm in therapy, though, right now. And I feel it because, remember how we, a long time ago, I was like, ugh, this feels like a therapy session.
Right.
About the Wheel of Time. And I was like, ugh, I need to talk these feelings through.
You do, yeah.
And I really just need to discover why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling about these characters.
Sure. Now.
I'm coming to terms with it. And so, it's good discovery, you know? Good session. Okay. I think time's up for now. And
I'll come back to the next chapter. Next chapter, we got chapter 34. It's good. Yeah.
Okay, well, not quite. So we'll take a quick break, and then we will come back and continue. We'll extend this session.
Do I get paid extra for
Absolutely
extended therapy sessions?
Paid? You should pay me for having to talk about this.
No. Oh, dear.
What if that was the kicker? I'm going to pay you to come to therapy. Oh, so many people will go to therapy. Did I just come up with a new business plan?
Nope. No, you didn't.
Did I come up with a way to save humanity?
Nope.
Oh.
Not that either.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go get another drink.
Yeah, wheel time.
Okay, so we are back.
Yes.
Here we are. We're going to talk about Gawain.
Yes. Yep. Okay.
But you did just remind me that not the very end, because the end is really annoying, but the middle to end.
The middle to end is pretty good.
Actually intriguing, and I'm excited to talk about it.
Okay, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like a 3-parter to the Gawain experience.
I'm so positive.
Okay, so let's start with the Gawain-Elaine brother-sister conversation. let's try to remove Gawain's head from his butt just a little bit.
And also Elaine's head from Elaine's butt?
Well, I mean, let's one problem at a time. Like,
Okay.
let's one thing.
I actually don't mind Elaine's head up her butt when she's telling Gawain what to do.
Right?
It's actually like, go Elaine at this point.
In comparison. Yeah, and it's so funny because there's a reference. He's like, I thought I heard a rumor about something about a bed.
Being
and
hoisted up a wall, but
Yeah.
that sounds ridiculous.
That sounds
And I was
not
like,
possible.
Gawain, you're making sense.
Yeah,
that did happen. Okay, so Gawain is in the palace gardens waiting for Elaine to finish speaking with her advisors, and he's all annoyed because she doesn't have a lot of free time, but
Right.
she's making some time for him now.
That's very gracious of her.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And-
there are whispers of the weapons that she's building, the cannons, right? Which might be as powerful.
Dragons.
The dragons, yeah. Well,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
And all the bell founders are working overtime, and Caemlin's preparing for war,
Whole thing.
right? It's a big thing. I just like the fact that the city, like Caemlin, is preparing for war. Like, we get the concept that we got to get things going because it's last battle time.
Okay. Now, she's going to come up to him, and they're going to have a bit of a back and forth, and then we get a note that Elaine's pregnancy is showing.
Right. Okay. So,
Officially written on the page.
I guess so.
We got a little poppin' baby bump.
Right. And again, this is like from Gawain's perspective. So
She's probably been showing for a while.
I was going to say, like, at what point is he like,
she has to be
oh,
9 months pregnant. And Gawain's like, oh my God, are you having a baby?
baby coming out?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, hold on a second here. Okay. Yeah, this is actually a really funny conversation too. So Gawain makes a comment about the light finally showing, because with the whole Rand thing, the clouds have parted,
Yes.
and life is good again. So Gawain's like, oh man, barely seeing the light. I almost forgot what the sun is.
yeah.
Right? That's
Mhm.
all good. And then Elaine says, oh yeah, that was Rand. And Gawain
And Gawain's like, oh, I hate that guy.
hate
And
it.
then Elaine's like, oh, you sure you still hate him? Why? Weird.
This is the garden where they first
We
met
met
him.
here. Remember? Just relax, Gawain. He's
Just-
fine. Why?
Yeah.
What are you holding a grudge for?
Yeah. I feel like Elaine's going too easy on him
Yeah.
for his dumb opinions about this stuff too.
Okay.
Like, it's almost like she's trying to be sensitive to his, like trying to dig into the core belief. But it's like, at some point, I feel like we got to be a little bit more tough love with Gawain. Like, hey, idiot.
But would he respond to that even a little bit?
I don't know. He's not responding. Well, I mean, we could argue that he is responding
He
now.
is
but...
responding because he's answering her questions
Right.
and then starts kind of rethinking his way of thinking.
He does. He does get there.
And if she just came hard at him and was like, hey, you idiot,
Yeah.
stop that.
I'm
He'd
just-
be like, no, you're dumb. You know?
Yeah.
And then they'd have a stupid brother-sister fight and it would be over.
That's fair. But first, we get the whole, who's the father of your babies? Is it Rand?
And
Oh.
then she just doesn't answer. No answer is answer enough.
Well, I mean, she does make a really good point. Like, hey, Gawain, if that's true, then that would be something we keep to ourselves because the children of the dragon will be targets.
Yes.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Even though we know that she is 100% safe at all times.
Well, yeah. Min's
we know
viewing
that.
says that.
We know that.
I don't even know why we
So
even have
why
to care.
does it matter?
Maybe because after they're born safe and healthy, we don't have a vision for them growing up to be healthy adults,
shoot.
right?
Okay.
So maybe we're just concerned for the children's welfare after the birth.
Long term, you say?
That's the thing about having kids.
Interesting.
Is they just
They're still here.
they're just still here.
We had ours years ago, and they're still
They're
just
hanging around
in our house still.
Oh my gosh, so
It's been
annoying.
years.
Gosh,
Uh,
and the blueberries are never the right consistency. I can't do anything about that.
these ones are too squishy. These ones are not squishy
Too
enough.
sour. I
Too
don't
sour.
know.
Oh, kids. All right. Can't
Okay.
live with them? Okay. So, all right. Gawain feels sick to the stomach because
oh my
Rand's the
god,
father.
I can't believe that you had sex with him.
No,
and just
no.
imagine, you know, when people like crush what they're holding,
Yeah.
like he breaks
so
the glass
angry.
he's holding, he's so mad.
I prefer to imagine my Gawain where he like wants to crush the can, but he can't. He doesn't do it properly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Or it's like a can, like he just goes, crush.
Yeah.
Just like
It's
a
like that's actually not
can of pop.
it's not difficult to do.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay, so let's get the reaction because he's like, Elaine, how could you after what he did to our mother? And then we get this conversation again where she's like,
and
hey,
Elaine's like, there's actually zero proof that he did that.
Yeah.
And there's
we have
a
a lot
of
witnesses
reasons to believe that he didn't do it.
Yeah, like she was gone way before he even got to Camelin.
Yeah.
Like that's not what happened.
Uh-huh.
And we get like a little bit of back and forth, like reminiscing. That's, there's some nice stuff.
About the whole pond situation.
Yeah,
he's
because
like, Elaine pushed me in the pond, and she's like, I didn't push you in the pond, you fell.
Yeah.
You lost your balance, it's your fault, not mine.
Yeah.
And it's like, Elaine, I'm just like over it.
It's the back and forth. But we're getting Gawain being a little bit more introspective. This is the whole, like, he's starting to come over to the whole Rand didn't kill my mom side.
Mm-hmm.
So she is doing a little bit of work by pulling in that childhood stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Anyways, and I also, every time we get the little thought where someone looks at Brigida because he knows that Brigida is the Captain General. And
he's like, crazy lady
calls herself Brigida, looks like Brigida from the stories.
Dresses like Brigida.
Dresses like her. Oh, it's crazy.
Even carries a bow.
Yeah.
She really thinks she's Brigida. She's really messed up. Like, she's such a crazy lady.
I love it. I love it so much. Every time it comes up.
It reminds me of your analogy about some guy named Hercules at the gym.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, that dude calls himself Hercules.
That guy legitimately thinks he's Hercules. He's nuts. Like, I think he's nuts.
Looks like Hercules. He's gigantic, super strong.
Looks just like the cartoon.
Yeah. Has the hair swirl, too. And you're like, wow. Very similar.
Yeah.
Very similar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good.
Yeah. It's good. Okay. Anyways, it's a lot of back and forth.
So much.
Okay, we're going for a row on a boat, little rowboat.
Why?
Because
this feels like one of those like writing.
It's a walk and talk.
Things.
Yeah.
It's a row and talk.
It's a row and talk.
It feels like a weird power move that Elaine is like, row me.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay.
Maybe.
And
but
then
also,
he even thinks to himself, this pond isn't even big enough for this boat.
Can I offer the fact that it's her brother and she knows that maybe Gawain needs to like do something physical to keep his mind from going crazy? Like he needs if she wants him to start thinking about things, he has to do the physical labor, kind of like Perrin, where he can think things through when he's working with his hands.
Okay.
So maybe
Couldn't we have like taken him to the wood pile to
I am
chop
working
or something?
overtime right now, trying to find a reason why they're in a rowboat here.
Yeah.
Please. Just say good point, Brett.
Wow.
So
you
insightful.
really thought that through.
So insightful, and Elaine just knows Gawain so well.
That's 100% what's happening here. It's not weird at all.
Yeah, okay. So, hey, Gawain, why are you here? Why are you here?
Why did you come to Camelin?
Yeah.
And he's like, why shouldn't I come here? It's my home.
It's like, okay, but like during the siege would have been a nice time for you to show up.
Yeah.
Like before, when I asked for you to come.
I was
at
caught
any
in
point
the
before.
snow.
Yeah. It's Cheese Town.
Okay, I've been through so much, Elaine, and now I'm finally here and you're mad that I'm here?
Tower politics inside.
Honestly, though,
yeah,
I'm annoyed at Elaine's response because this entire time, my whole standpoint was go to Camelin.
Yeah.
You belong there. Elaine will be happy to have you there.
Yeah.
You for sure need to go there. Nobody wants you at the tower. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And now he's here, and Elaine doesn't
Can I make a
act
counterpoint?
the way that I want her to act.
Gawain has been here for a minute now, and he doesn't act like a person who actually wants to be here. So Elaine roping him into being the Captain General now, he's just gonna bail.
Like he didn't show up ready to accept his position, ready to be first Prince of the Sword, ready to lord the
So like
armies.
she doesn't need a wishy-washy
Lord the
Captain
armies?
General. Yeah.
Is that a thing you do? You lord the armies?
You know what?
Lord
Sure.
of the armies.
Lord of the armies of Andor. Yeah, we get what you're saying.
Okay.
He didn't come in ready to do that job.
Yeah.
So she doesn't want him to do that job, which makes sense. So
I feel like we should just force him to do it. We're forcing Brigida to do it. She doesn't want to.
Well, I mean, that's a
and
different
Gawain
situation.
would probably be better at it. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I get where you're coming from, but also maybe Elaine just doesn't want to deal with Gawain.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Send him back to Egwene.
Right.
I don't know. It annoys me. This whole thing annoys me because I'm like, finally,
I know.
He's where he's supposed to be.
I agree with you.
Elaine is supposed to be very happy that he's here.
Mm-hmm.
He's supposed to take his position.
Yep.
And I want him to not go back to Egwene.
I agree.
But not like this.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. I get it. I totally agree with you on most of those points.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know what I disagree with you right now, but like I
much.
think not much. Yeah. I wish that everyone did what they were supposed to do. It doesn't happen that way.
No.
Okay.
All right. So eventually.
Doesn't Egwene need you? And he's like, She doesn't need me.
She said go away.
She did.
So I went away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is really funny because we get the little tidbit that Brigida is super upset with Gawain, and Gawain didn't really know why, but Elaine's like, it's probably because she was hoping you were going to be the Captain General so she can stop being that.
Yeah.
And then you didn't do that thing.
And he's like, oh, really? Is that why?
It's like,
and I was like,
yeah,
okay,
man.
how long have you been here and you've had no discussions with the Captain General? What are you going? Like,
So
what are you doing?
Yeah, well, Elaine's like, you've been moping around Camelin. He's like, not moping. I'm pondering around Camelin.
Yeah.
He's putting on his thinking brain.
Oh my god.
Oh man. Okay. This is
He's
Gawain.
angsty wallowing.
Yes. He very much. Yeah.
You know what I do like? The artistic picture of this pond with a weeping willow overhanging it.
Wonderful.
It's a nice visual.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So
You've never rowed me in a boat.
No.
Ever.
That's true.
You've never rowed me.
Not even one time.
Never.
Yeah.
Although this is a brother and sister.
True.
So never mind.
Different.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've paddled me in a paddle boat.
Did I?
I'm sure we've paddle boated.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, we're still trying to get to the root of Gawain's issues.
You know what? I think it's pedal boat. Because you pedal.
It's a pedal boat.
Not a paddle boat.
I'm
Paddle
pretty
board.
Sure. Paddle board.
Paddle board, pedal boat.
That's a different thing. Okay.
Okay, talk about Gawain.
Gawain. Okay. So, Elaine's like, hey, maybe you should go to Egwene because you could protect her. And then he says, well, what if I decided that I don't want her? And it's like, oh, buddy, that's not...
Mm-hmm.
We're not doing that, are we?
Okay, so Elaine tries to put this in perspective for him and says, I bet what she really wants and needs is someone she can trust completely, someone who she can give tasks to and then not worry about if they're going to be handled or not.
Yeah.
And she wants someone who's going to do exactly what she wants and says, even before she wants and says it.
Yeah. And I mean, his point is like, Egwene wants him to bend and scrape to her. He doesn't want to be that guy. But Elaine makes a good point where she needs someone she can implicitly trust.
Yes.
And Gawain just
her
really...
literal right-hand man.
Yeah, it's like, do you want to be the warder and the husband? Like, what do you want here? Because if you want to be the warder, like, think
guess
about
what a warder does.
You literally do everything your Aes Sedai wants all the time, no matter what, because you're literally the protector guardian.
Yeah, you want to marry her? She's the Amerlin seat.
Yeah.
Can we have some perspective on the situation, bud?
You know what we got to do? Introduce them to that whole seafolk custom where it's like, hey, you get to be in charge out here.
And Nynaeve could teach Egwene about it. She could be the mentor.
Yeah.
She knows.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anyways, we're not going to do that.
No.
At least not now.
Anyway, Gawain, you can be that guy.
Then he says, I don't think that I can be that guy, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Elaine makes a good point, too, because she points out, like, hey, you're trying to be with this incredibly powerful woman, and of all people... Woman. Yeah,
He's not Rand.
He's not Rand. He's trying to be with Egwene, an incredibly powerful woman, and of all people, Gawain, who has experience being around incredibly powerful women, he shouldn't have, like, a big...
People.
Well, no, but specifically women, because, like, his mom, his sister, like, he should have an idea that you have to, like, know your place in the hierarchy of things in certain times and places, especially.
Yeah.
Like, that's the part that is really, like, he's really struggling with. He oversteps at terrible times.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could approach Egwene probably, but not when she's, like, in front of other Aes Sedai. And he just, Gawain argues with her in front of other people, and it's like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Is he just dumb?
Maybe.
Maybe when he fell in that pond and almost drowned, he got a brain injury.
Maybe.
I mean,
yeah.
We talk about it in this
there was
chapter.
a Forsaken swooped by and then compelled them to just make the worst decisions
Full
at all
lobotomy.
times. Yeah, he's like, hey, man.
Half his brain is gone. Well, that's why.
He scooped it out.
He's got no decision-making abilities whatsoever.
Oh, no. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to credit him and be like, oh, yeah, something bad and nefarious happened and you had, I don't know. But no, he's just
deprived
stupid.
of oxygen as a child.
I would love to.
That's a thing.
It is.
That's what I'm gonna go with, maybe. Also, that
still giving him too much credit. Like, I just think he's a phenomenally written character.
He's a
who
very
makes bad decisions.
narcissistic.
Yeah,
he's very just narcissistic.
Yeah, and I mean, it makes sense. He's a little prince boy.
Yes.
He's a little prince boy.
Yes, he is, isn't
Yeah.
he? Isn't
Yeah.
he just that? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Also, Gawain lovers, come for me. I can't wait to hear.
Yeah.
Perrin people and the Gawain people.
Yeah.
I want to hear. And then I'm going to do a mocking tone of your comments.
No,
Yeah,
no.
just joking.
Okay.
Actually, I can't promise I won't do that. But,
All right.
yeah.
Where are we now? Okay, so.
Oh, back to Rand. Rand is dangerous, you know.
Right, because we got away from the top. Elaine, like, we switched topics away from Rand. Because the whole
and
pregnancy
Gawain
thing.
can't believe how good Elaine is at talking about things that only she wants to talk to.
Right.
Okay, but listen, Rand is actually really dangerous.
Super dangerous. Okay.
So dangerous.
All right. So now Elaine's going to be the armchair therapist. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to happen.
Yep. The rowboat therapist.
Why do you
That's what
hate...
she would be.
Oh,
That would be her
nice.
handle.
Except you row me.
The rowboat.
The therapist doesn't row you around.
No, and it's strategic because of the physical activity.
Right? You're on board now.
Heavy
You're
work.
on board with it.
Heavy
I love
work
it.
is real. Yeah, it
That's-
calms the nervous system. Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get to the root cause of your hatred for Rand. So he's like, okay, it's not just because of Morgaze. Like, that's one aspect of it, but it's not the whole thing. It's also because what Rand has become, which is a tyrant.
Crazy dude who's just taking over the whole world.
Yeah, and Elaine's
One
like...
dude can't just take over the whole world.
Yeah, and Elaine's like, well, not really that, man. Like, how do you even think you know that?
Yeah.
And then Gawain says, okay, but he's a sheep herder. What right does he have to cast down thrones and change the world? This is my argument for why he's a little prince boy. Because,
Yeah.
like, hey, man, let me introduce you to your lineage and your country's history. Why are you the Tricans on the throne?
Yeah.
It's not because you were born into it. It's because your ancestors
Won
took
a
it.
succession
You
war.
took the succession. Like, you
Not
did it.
ancestors, your mother.
Your mom... Well, I mean, that is technically your ancestor.
She's still
Right.
alive. Give me the definition of
No,
an
she's
ancestor.
dead. She's dead, didn't you know?
Oh, no. It's because some random
Yeah.
stranger peddler
Yes.
in the middle of nowhere land
It was like, I live
was
here.
like, hey, Gawain,
Yeah.
Morgaze is dead and Rand killed him. And we're trusting that weirdo stranger nobody.
Yeah.
Not Egwene.
Why would a peddler
Not Elaine.
lie about that kind
not-
of information?
Yeah. We're trusting the rumor of a random traveling stranger.
That's true.
More than we're believing the people who are closest to us.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
So then Elaine's like, hey, so you were huddled in a village and he was conquering nations, and then
Are
you got
you
forced
jelly
you got
monster?
forced to kill your friends, and then you were sent to death by the Amaranth. It's like, okay, but also he wasn't forced to kill his friends.
Call the jelly
Yeah.
school.
Yeah, we're not
Call the jelly school. We got
He's
a
jealous.
hater here.
He's jealous. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's like, no, I'm not jealous, but it's just
I'm just a little jealous.
maybe he's attached himself to this, right?
Yeah. Well,
But-
it's his like worldview at this point.
It is, and a lot of his personality and identity is like based on this now hating Rand. Yeah, it's like it's been a whole thing. So
With
now
this
if he,
whole might.
yeah,
This whole personality.
that's like why he's done so much stuff. So Elaine has a really good point. She's like, okay, so let's role play this here.
You gonna duel him?
You're gonna do it. You're gonna run him through with your sword. Then what? What does that accomplish besides like your little
You killed the dragon reborn.
like yeah? And it's like you
Good
doom us all.
one.
Like we know the prophecies, and it's a little bit different because in this fantasy world, prophecies have real impact. Like it's and magic is real.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a little different when we're talking about
I think
prophecies.
so. I agree. In
Yeah.
this scenario,
yeah.
I think that Gawain has a hard time legitimately recognizing the threat that they're actually under.
yeah.
Has Gawain encountered
Yeah.
many dark friends or Forsaken? Like, how real is
Yeah.
the last battle and the Dragon Reborn to Gawain
hmm
based on his own experiences?
Right. Yeah. And like he knows the power exists too, but it's like you're gonna duel Rand like with a sword.
Well, my prediction is still that Rand's gonna kill Gawain.
Well, because Gawain's gonna what? Charge him with a sword, and
I
Rand's
know,
gonna be like,
but what's
"Don't
annoying
do
me
that."
right now is Elaine is like, maybe don't fight him. And he's like, fine, maybe I won't fight him. And that annoys me because that messes with my prediction.
that Rand's gonna have to
Kill Gawain.
Right. Okay. I thought that's what you had said, but
Mhm.
right.
Yeah.
And now he has one hand, so like we're not even gonna get a sword duel. Like if we were
we
in
still will, probably.
if we were in peak Rand
Okay.
with two hands versus peak Gawain with two hands, right? Sword fighting in a duel. Rand, why would we do
and
that in the first
realistically,
place?
what'll actually happen is the maidens will get Gawain first.
Right. It's like you're
Yeah.
not allowed to duel Rand.
Yeah.
We're not gonna do that
No.
duel because it's Gawain. There's no
Mm-mm. Nope.
Like, hypothetically, I could see Rand being like, I don't know, we're going to duel.
There will be 18 knives sticking out of Gawain as a pinata.
Yeah.
Before.
Well, I'm thinking like the
Rand.
Randish Amail. Like, I could see Rand dueling some people for some reasons, hypothetically.
Mm-hmm.
Not Gawain, because Gawain
mad
thinks
at
that
him.
he killed his mom.
Which he did not.
Which he didn't. You know?
Yeah.
Anyways, okay. And now my favorite part of the chapter, the thrilling conclusion of this therapy session. In true Trakand fashion, we have Gawain whispering into the void.
Oh, we're done, Althor. From now on, I care nothing from you.
And an enormous weight is lifted off his
for
shoulders.
you. I messed it up.
Oh, okay.
I care nothing for you.
Nothing. He doesn't care. It's like the abdication of Morgase with the throne, and it's he lets it go.
Oh my god! And it's like that sculpture of the guy who's carrying the world on his shoulders, and then you remember that animation where he like throws it off?
No.
Yeah, it's like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Atlas.
Yep.
Yeah.
That guy.
Right.
Throws the weight off his shoulders.
I don't think he was supposed to throw the world, man.
No, it was like a different thing.
See,
Feels like
sure
a fever dream from
up.
my childhood.
Oh, okay.
You know, one of those things?
Sure.
Where it's like for sure it exists, but like no one believes you that it exists.
Yeah.
There was a guy, for sure, painted.
Sure.
Like a painted guy, like a statue.
Okay.
And he would hold the world and he would stand up and throw it. And that's all I have. That's all the context I have. I don't have anything else.
Yeah, I got nothing for you. I don't know.
Now I'm going to have to look it up.
Okay, not now, though.
No.
All right.
We talked about that for way longer than I thought we would.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so...
This is the good part.
Yeah. Wait, like the Gawain letting go?
No, the next part, the assassin knife part.
Okay. Yeah, so that sequence is done.
And now it's time to focus on Egwene.
Yeah, okay. Elaine has things to do, so she's just gonna leave. She's like, I gotta go now.
She's so busy.
Do queen
Except,
stuff.
You know what we haven't talked about? She's not in her bed.
Yeah, that was, she was bed rest for like a week or whatever.
She's off bed rest.
Sure.
And now is allowed to walk about and rowboat.
Yeah, she's not rowing the boat, she's sitting in the boat.
No, she rows herself back to shore. She takes the oars from Gawain and rows herself.
Physical activity is good for pregnant ladies, I think. I'm not a doctor, okay? I'm not the midwife. I'm not Melfane. Just, can we...
Yeah, okay. We can move on.
Can we move on, please?
I'm just saying.
Please? Okay. Let's focus on Egwene. He's got to think about Egwene.
Okay, so he's going to pull out the assassin's knife.
Right.
But he's by himself, right?
Yeah, he's by himself right now.
So he's like, ooh, look at this knife.
He's pondering about the assassins in
and
the tower.
And then suddenly hears something behind him.
Yeah, or someone.
Or someone saying... By my mother's grave, where did you get that?
Amazing, okay.
Aha, and now I love this because I forgot that these people exist.
The Kinswomen?
Nope.
And the Damani?
The Damani captures.
It was a whole thing.
I know it was. I forgot they exist in Camelin at the palace right now. I forgot about all of it.
Do you remember why they're here?
If there had been if there had been a trivia question at the start or right before I started reading this chapter that was like, where are those captured Damani from that fight?
Right.
I would have trouble coming up with the answer.
Mm-hmm.
I know that they exist, but here I'm like, oh, here's where they are.
Here
How convenient.
Yeah.
Excellent. And this, I just have to tell you, is further clarification.
No.
That we were not supposed to get it right away.
This is Gawain figuring it out.
This is the reveal for the reader.
That's the reveal for Gawain.
This is the official reveal for the reader. I promise you.
I
promise you.
Okay, you know what?
I promise.
Agree
That's
to disagree.
exactly what this is. This is the reveal.
For Gawain,
This is like the holy shit, this is the blood knife, and this is what that actually fucking means. Because as a first-time reader, I don't think we were meant to pick up any of that. Remember how I thought it was like Masana?
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah. So the fact that here we're getting even more of a very clear reveal really goes to show that it was not obvious at the beginning.
Okay.
Otherwise, this wouldn't even be here.
I disagree with that statement. Even if I disagree or agree with you.
Not in this way.
I disagree with that statement.
Not in this way.
Wheel of Time.
This is very, very strategically placed to inform Gawain.
Let's get into it then.
But also inform the reader.
Let's talk about what Gawain is now learning for the first time in full detail.
The assassin's knife comes from a blood knife. It's a blood knife belonging to a blood knife.
And he's like, wait,
they have the same name?
I thought a blood knife was a blood knife. It's like the Amerlin seed. It's the Amerlin seed situation.
It is just like that.
It is like that, yeah. And like probably a bunch of other things too.
Okay, but anyway, so the Damani lady
Yes.
is having trouble being a regular human.
Right.
Because
Trauma and such.
can't refer to herself as I.
For sure. We get it. We get it.
Yeah, and she's like, there's no way you won that in battle because nobody defeats a blood knife.
Not possible.
They're
Can't be done.
unstoppable, and they only fall when their own blood turns against them.
Yes.
And now Gawain is like, wait, their family turns against them?
He really doesn't get when she's like, the blood turns against you.
He's like, no, his literal blood is poisoned.
Poisoned blood. It poisons
His
you.
blood in his body turns against him, his body.
Yeah, so we get like a whole like description of what's going on here. So the blood knife carries the blood knife. They're shrouded in the night. They're sent by the Empress's will to strike down her foes and die in her name and glory. So Gawain does figure out.
And Gawain's like,
they're
wait a
assassin
minute.
troops. Yeah.
Are you saying that the carrier of this knife is Shanchan?
Right. Ooh.
And they're like, yeah, man.
That's the major point here.
That's literally what we've said 5 times.
They're assassins and they're suicide troops, and
Yeah.
they're left behind to kill as many Aes Sedai as possible, and that means the murderer wasn't a Forsaken.
Right.
But the issue is that we know that Missana was and or is in the tower.
She 100% is, but she's
Right.
not going around murdering a bunch of
people with a knife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Definitely no.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you're saying definitely no. but, like,
Definitely not.
definitely
it's
not.
It's so obvious. It's
What?
so clear.
Forsaken never kill people with
Knives.
knives.
Well,
Or, you know,
do they though? I
sharp
don't think
things.
they do.
I don't know. It's hard to say.
Unless they use the power to whip it at you.
Like whip a knife?
With the power though.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, game changer.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so Gawain like pushes a little bit too hard for this
I
Damani.
love this part. This part was so interesting and exciting for me as opposed to the rest of it.
Sure.
Like I didn't care about the rowboat and the discussion.
Yeah, we get a lot of the background on like the Suldam, and it's like the Suldam can
Yes.
channel, and he's learned like
This
we
was
know all
awesome
this.
for me because of the full extensive recap about what this actually means.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So we basically have to pull in another person, and this is actually kind of interesting
A
too because
Suldam?
a Suldam,
Previous Suldam.
a previous Suldam who is referring to herself as Damani, but this is an interesting Suldam because she wants to be leashed and returned to Shanshan because she thinks she deserves to be Damani.
But
'cause
then
she
she
can channel.
also secretly wants to blow everyone up.
Well, so that she can prove that she's unreliable and dangerous, so that they like leash her and return her to
Right.
Shanshan. So like it's a troubling
Her
situation.
mind is broken.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So Gawain's like freaked out because it's like, whoa, a
Well,
person
I mean,
who...
like, it's her whole culture that she's grown up with her whole life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we get it. It's
Yeah.
terrible,
Yeah.
and it is what we're in. Like it's such a complicated situation too, because like, what do you do with this person?
This
you have
part
to
is
expend
so
so
interesting.
much. You have
This
to,
part, I like reading this more than I like reading like a battle scene with like Ilderalda and Trollocs.
we get it. You don't like Borderlanders and Trollocs.
But this was really interesting. I really liked this part.
Okay, so the Suldam.
I was like, ooh, ah, like I was like, as I was reading.
That's what you were doing. Ooh, ah.
I was responding to it. And
Yeah.
I was like talking to the book as it was reading to me. It's actually, I forgot about this part, and I really actually now wish that I read it again.
You can go back and do that
I will,
again.
actually. I will
Okay.
read this before I read the next one.
All right.
Yeah.
So Gawain's like, hey, Suldam, what's up with this knife? And the Suldam is also very shocked about this knife. And again, is like, no. There's no way you fought blood knife and live.
Yeah, and
like,
he's like,
not possible.
and there's a couple people who've already died, and it's a disaster. And they're
Right.
like, oh, listen, bud.
Yeah.
If only a couple have died,
Yeah.
consider yourself lucky.
Yeah. So it actually kind of it's an interesting thing
It
for the
paints
blood knives too.
Such an interesting picture.
Yeah, because we get now why they are only killing every few days, because they're literally testing out defenses and weaknesses so that they can like ramp
of
up.
which there are a million in the White Tower.
There's all of them, all of the things you can do, and then it's going to ramp up to the crescendo of the murder spree before they die.
Yep.
So it is problematic, and it seems like things are going to get worse
Before they get worse. Uh-huh.
especially with this.
Yeah. So it turns out Egwene must be the true target of this attack.
Yeah.
And she's in so much danger.
So much. But before you're I got to go over, for the record, some details on these blood knives.
Okay.
And I mean the
More?
blood knives, not the blood knives.
Okay.
Yeah.
The rubies?
No, technically it's not even the blood knife or the blood knife. It's the terangrial that they use. So they have rings. Those are the ones, and we saw those, right? That give them the powers that they have. So, like, they can blur their forms when they're near shadows. The Suldam says they can't be defeated. She doesn't really know very much, but they typically will not last more than a few weeks, but a month at most. So we can also pinpoint how long the blood knives have been in the tower.
And how long it's been since the attack.
Exactly.
My
So it's
goodness.
like less than a month.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. So the Suldam says, like, okay, if it's going to last a month, you should probably just hide, because if you weren't the target, that's the only reason you're alive, is because they didn't really care enough to kill you.
Yeah, because they
That's
would
fine.
have kept pursuing you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Gawain wants to know more about the triangle, and he's like, well, what if we put like 50,000 torches and then there's no shadows? It's like, well, no, like, the more lights there are, the more shadows there are.
Well, sort
That's
of,
not
yeah.
going to help you
Okay, yeah.
necessarily. But it's funny because he says, like, what about this torch idea? And the Suldam's like, that's a bad idea.
No.
And immediately when he's like, oh, tell Egwene about this, he's like, 50,000 torches.
Oh my god.
It's like, you didn't
Yeah, he
listen.
does do
You
that.
didn't listen at all. To which he's like, don't do more torches necessarily.
It's
That's
not
not
gonna work.
That's not
Now,
going to help.
I don't quite understand how, with all of this information,
Yeah.
Gawain comes to the conclusion that Egwene is the sole target.
Well, we saw them, like, hanging out outside her room.
Well,
And also, she's the leader of the Aes Sedai. It makes sense.
I suppose, but like, they're all targets.
They are, but also,
All of them.
in war, like, it's literally assassinating the top person. Like, that makes sense. That's not a crazy thing.
Okay, I just think that it's more like, get rid of everyone you can before you die.
Sure.
I don't necessarily, like, from what I gleaned from this,
Okay.
it wasn't.
I don't think it's that crazy of a thing to take
I don't
out
think
the
so either.
top person.
I don't think so either. But I also don't get that specifically from the blood knives.
Right.
And anyway.
Well, you saw her creeping outside the room.
Sure, creeping outside of lots of rooms, killing lots of people. Every Aes Sedai, actually.
Yeah, but this is also
That's
Gawain.
their order.
It's Gawain, though.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't understand. That's the point I'm making, is
Okay.
I don't understand how he's come to this conclusion, but you've explained how you think he's come to this conclusion.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so he's like, okay, I guess I do have to go back to. I've decided I'm gonna go back.
I
She
must
needs to be
warn
warned.
her.
I must warn her. I must protect her. I'm gonna go.
Even if she's angry.
I'm gonna be the best man. I'm gonna do everything that she wants me to do before
we
she even
get
asks
so
me to
close.
do.
We get so
And
close.
he's like, yes. And I was like, okay, fine.
You know, we can deal with
You
this.
know what? If you're gonna go back, you better do what Elaine said, because actually Elaine had a point.
Yeah.
Good. Go do that. Now,
But wait.
there's more. Some lady runs up.
Hey, lady. It's a servant.
Here's a message for you.
Yeah.
Egwene demands you back in the tower. She's super pissed you left. You better come back now.
It's so aggressive,
And
this
then
letter.
Gawain is like, fuck that. Fuck you, bitch. Like, he's like,
Oh, yeah.
he's like, oh yeah? You're gonna summon me? Well, guess what? Now
Not
I'm
coming.
not coming.
Not coming. Yeah.
And then he flicks the blood knife at the servant lady.
No, he puts it on the letter, because the letter's on a tray.
Yeah, he throws it on the tray.
Yeah.
I just picture it so dramatic.
Yeah.
He's like, take this, send that back to her as a response.
Say it's an assassin from Shanshin.
No, listen.
Yeah. Okay, go. Okay, go.
The amount of information that he just like rambles off
Mhm.
to this random serving lady,
Yeah.
you can't possibly actually hope that all of that information is going to accurately get back. Like, how good are people's working memories at this point?
But if
How
you're a
good-
messenger, amazing.
No,
You're perfect.
But she's not a messenger. She's literally just like a serving person who's like, hey, Gawain, guess what? Someone sent me to come tell you this thing.
Well, good news. This person is the best messenger. She showed up
It
previously.
is so long.
She remembered everything perfectly before.
If you read the whole thing to me and then ask me immediately to repeat it back to you, I won't be able to.
Yeah.
It's so much detailed information that's very critical.
Yeah.
So I was actually excited. I was like, oh, good. Gawain's going to actually give this information to Egwene that's going to be very helpful and useful.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Fuck.
No. No.
And there's no way. Like, I will be so incredulous if we see a scene where Elaine gets a letter with everything detailed explicitly,
Right.
I will not believe it.
Wow. Okay.
I'll be like, nope, never would have happened. Don't believe this. This is the most fantastical thing that's ever happened.
Right. I want
Yeah.
to see realistic literature.
Oh my God.
It's like, tell this person this, and this. And they're like,
Be warned. Here's a knife.
danger.
Danger. This is from the Shanshan.
Yeah.
Like,
They're going to get you.
and to just not be able to
Yeah.
be like,
Yeah.
sorry, let me write this down. Because there's a piece of paper and pen or whatever it
Yep.
is.
You could write out a
Quill,
thing.
whatever they
Yeah.
used to write in this
Ballpoint pen.
old-timey times. I prefer ink. I prefer a nice gel ink pen.
A little gelling. Okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Quick dry, you know?
Yeah.
But Ink Joy, that's my favorite one, actually. Anyway. I have a favorite pen, I do.
That's
Okay, so there's paper and a writing utensil
Yeah.
on this tray,
Uh-huh.
clearly expecting a response.
Right.
And instead of just writing it himself and
Mhm.
being like, give this to her,
Mhm.
or being like, dictate, just write while I'm talking,
Right. Yeah.
to actually get this information to Egwene,
Yeah, no, we're not going to do
he's
that.
so mad.
Yeah.
And
I'm
I'm
so mad.
And now I'm so mad at him
So
because
mad.
he's the worst.
Yeah.
Just solidifies.
Yeah.
He's literally the worst. Maria's
To
right.
bring it full circle, yeah, I was going to say, to bring it full circle, who do you really not like as a character? Gawain.
It's Gawain.
Yeah.
Ugh, what a moody little teenager.
Yeah.
Anyway, Egwene said she didn't need him, so she'll have to do without him for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Hair flick.
Right. He does do that. I'm pretty sure that was in there.
There's no freaking way he's going back to the tower now.
No way. No way.
Not after being summoned like
At least-
this. He's
well,
not.
okay.
He's not some dog to be summoned.
He-
And I mean, to be fair,
Technically, hold on. Pause.
Egwene,
Pause.
that was rude.
Hold on.
Okay,
Hold
go.
on. He does say she's going to have to, like, wait a little bit. She doesn't say... he doesn't
what
say
a
never.
threat.
He doesn't
Thanks,
say never.
Gawain.
He doesn't say, I'm never going. He says she's going to have
It's
to
just
wait a
gotta
minute.
be on his own terms.
Yeah. Hold on.
I know. You're gonna tell me there's a guest next episode.
She had
Oh.
said she didn't need him. She would have to do without him for a while then.
Oh, so what's that? A couple days?
It's not clear. It's not clear.
Ugh, Gawain. Okay, that's good. Okay, I thought we were already done. Tell me
Yeah, no,
about.
we're done.
Tell me about next episode.
Yeah, we're doing one chapter and we have a guest.
Yeah,
That's
an
it.
in studio.
In studio guest.
Love it.
There may or may not be Perrin in the chapter.
I believe that there will be.
There might be.
Because why else would Tyler be here? It's not Halloween and you're not scaring the shit out of me, so
It's good. It's good.
yeah. All right, well, before you go ahead and have some really good soup, I'm going to say that this is part of the pattern now.
Yeah, it's part of the pattern.
Hey, thanks so much for sticking around. That's the end of another fun episode. The Wheel Weaves is hosted and edited by Dani and Brett and produced by Dani and Brett with Passion Socks, Cody Feltz, Benjamin, Jamie Young, Megan, Jared Berg, Ricky Morissette, Adam, Mozyme, Michelle Forbes, MKM, Antoine Benoit, Lawrence Bradley, Colby T, Gabby Young, Rycat, Zane Sayaka, Matrix, Matt Truss, The Albatross, Bratimus Prime, Sarah Creech, and Saverio Bartolini. With music by Audionautics. Now, everyone, please be sure to go check out our Patreon page if you are interested in supporting us and the podcast. We'd love to send you some Patreon-exclusive merchandise as a thank you, plus you'll gain access to our episodes earlier than everyone else. And, at the time of recording, we have almost 50 bonus episodes for your listening pleasure. Find all that and more at patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast. As always, please be sure to give us a 5-star review because it really does make a huge difference in helping other people find us. And be sure to tell a friend, Riyadh, because referrals really are the best compliment. For general information about our show, like how to send us shot glasses, how to join our Discord, and how to get in touch with us, visit thewheelweavespodcast.com. Thanks again for listening. This really is part of the pattern now.